Irish visitors to the US could be required to submit 5 years of their social media history in order to enter that country, whether they need a visa or not. The notice from the Trump administration has sparked huge outrage in the international community, but many worried it will further reduce already declining tourist numbers in the US. There are also concerns that World Cup fans travelling for the competition in 2026 will be turned away if their social media activity doesn't align with Donald Trump's views. Joining me now to talk more about this is Eoghan Corry, editor of Travel Extra. Eoghan, good morning.
Good morning, Pat.
Now, those rules about social media have been in force for some time. Not these new rules, the more draconian ones, the old rules demanding your social media information. Tell me, what impact has it had on travel to the United States?
Very little, virtually none. I think Barry hit the nail on the head. This may be a means to shut down the volume of criticism, which is enormous on social media of America, by saying, oh, we're going to watch you, and if you want to come to the World Cup, go easy on us. So there has been no impact. There has been no incident to my knowledge, at pre-clearance in Dublin or Shannon, of people being turned away because of social media posts. It may have happened, but in the age of outrage on social media, you'd expect it to show up. There have been high-profile international cases. In one case, a French academic who hadn't said anything about Gaza or Venezuela, but was talking about funding for US science projects on a WhatsApp group. He was turned away very early in this cycle, and it caused a lot of coverage. And it's interesting to note that places like Germany, France, tourism to the United States is very, very far down. Ireland is flat. It's more or less the same as last year. Big drop in March. That was mainly because of the date in April. Big drop in September. The date of Easter. It recovered in April. Big drop in September. Not sure why, but it recovered heavily in October. We're more or less going to send 500,000 tourists to America this year, the 12th most important inbound market into America, and it's a little bit short of pre-pandemic 530,000. But two of the markets that have not been impacted by all this coverage are Britain and Ireland. I think because we're very familiar with America and we're used to an occasional aberration of who the incumbent in the White House might be.
So you think we're just going to wait Trump out, but then we might have Vance, who is equally hostile to Europe. So
it tends to go with Republican presidents. I'm old enough to remember the protests when Ronald Reagan came to Ballyporeen. Some of my colleagues were involved in protests at the time. Photographs were taken and people were turned down in 1984 for their J1 visas. I don't think very much has changed. I think it's been done very much more in the public than before. And what happened with the ESTA, it looked like it was very rigorous what they were looking for. They're now looking for more. I suspect that when they went after certain people, they were unable to find what they wanted. So they're looking for more and more detail. It's not that everything gets looked at. It's when you're in that situation where they doubt you and they're questioning, that's when they go back into the ESTA application. And a reason for refusal very often is not telling the full truth on ESTA. It's going to be, I suspect that's what's going to happen. And I suspect that they're doing this in advance of what will be a big year for US tourism, not so much to turn people away, but to leverage this power they have to affect the general debate, which is the point made by Barry there.
Yeah. All right, we leave it there. Eoghan Corry, editor of Travel Extra.